Hi. I'm Bicycle Walrus. I'm in my pajamas. Let's talk about war. So remember when I said that war changes? Yeah. We felt that this week. With New World's 1.04 update, numerous exploits and issues infested Aeternum, which suddenly twisted the meta. The very first question many of you are presently pondering is, did this impact any of the wars we're about to cover today? The long and short of it is, nah, not really. For the most part, I'm incredibly happy that the players of Dominora, for the most part, play with some form of dignity. Though there are certainly a few notable exceptions, most folk did what they do best. They played their hearts out, using the weapons they enjoy, deploying the tactics that work for them. New World is certainly broken, in my opinion, is in the worst state it has ever been in with patch version 1.04. I honestly would prefer dealing with server lag than abilities which never hit their targets, broken hatchets, and unlimited healing. That being said, all players are dealing with the same conditions, and adapting to these conditions is a big part of the PvP experience. Is it fair? No, not really. Can these exploits be used to win wars? Yes, absolutely. Did this impact the result of today's Dominora After Action report? No. I'm personally proud of the server we play on and the players we compete against. Now, let's get to the wars. First, it is worth noting that two territories changed hands without contest. Ebonscale Reach was rewarded to heroes of the Republic from the Syndicate. The war was fought with individuals who have never participated in war and were mostly under level 60. In fact, we even had one member who was level 29. It was kind of fun. The Divine Church wanted to field players who haven't had a chance to participate, while at the same time they anticipated that the war would be lost. Quite frankly, they really didn't want that worthless piece of real estate. Less than a week later, Ebonscale Reach felled the Marauders. It seems even the Syndicate didn't want the territory either. Secondly, First Light was given away by Havoc of the Syndicate to the Marauders. Though there is some speculation as to the nature of the giveaway, I suppose if you own the territory, it is yours to do away with if you so desire. Now, on to our first war, the defense of Morningdale. The Marauder Company, make war, not love, declared against the fine settlement of Morningdale, under the governorship of yours truly and the mighty Killbears. It is difficult to understand the motivations behind anyone who would want to deprive the fine people of Morningdale of their beloved governor. The best crafting stations in all the land and the lowest taxes throughout all Aeternum, the people will only lose should Morningdale fall into anyone else's hands. On October 29th, the lines were drawn, and the battle began. Quite honestly, I'm not sure what our opponent's strategy was. They seemed uncoordinated, desperate, and out of place throughout most of the match. I would be called to rotate our main forces to a point, only to find the opposition completely wiped off the point before we had even arrived. What's going on A?
A couple of people slinking over to A.
Roger that. Looks like groups 1, 2 go A. 3, 4 stay at C. Clean up at C. 1, 2 go A. We're splitting main push 2 groups to A. We're just double checking something real fast. Though they did attempt setting up siege equipment from across the river, it did them absolutely no good. We're not witches. We're witch hunters. Water doesn't cause us to melt.
Yeah, I'm here. Small push at B. I got some siege set up.
Small push B heard. 1, 2 is going to be the join 3, 4. We got siege left and right of B. Disruptors hit that backline. We're going to go and secure our point. All right. Main push team, you want to stay near the point for now? Or not, just kill them. Honestly, this is ridiculous. Come on, man.
What the hell's going on?
I want to play the way we're supposed to, but I can't.
Literally pushing them back to spawn.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Valaris, is your poison shot doing any damage to siege? Yes.
Alright, check C, check C. Off push, off push. What's going on in C?
We're at C, we're at C, we're at C. We're
We're there, we go.
We're good.
Oh, they're wiped on sea already? My gosh, man, I thought I'd have some fun today. In the end, not a single point was captured. We had yet another fishing trip, though this time it had to wait for the last 2 minutes of the war. You know, we can catch more fish if you resign yourselves to defeat a bit earlier, right? Next, on October 30th, we had 2 defensive campaigns against the Syndicate, who have proven themselves to be worthy opponents. The first of our 2 engagements would be at the legendary battleground of Brightwood. In our previous bout against Purple Rain, they drove us into our fort with a climatic finish that would live on in the history books. Could they do that to us again? The battle began much as it always does, but this time we were prepared for the damage our opponents brought to the last Brightwood War. Bound and determined to change their fates, they committed their forces against A Point in force. It seems they wanted to challenge my team directly. I never felt more targeted in a war than I did in this one, which is kind of funny because I'm a tank. I kind of want to be targeted. It's sort of my job. Despite our valiant effort, C fell first at 5 minutes into the war. We continued to hold A Point in a grueling 14-minute all-out melee. Point.
Oh, our people are there, thank goodness. Good job.
We got siege in the backline. Siege on their backline. Check it, 2 of them.
Yeah, to our side.
In the end, they finally managed to take the point, forcing us to continue our battle in earnest on B. Would the Syndicate once again push us back to our fort? Would they once again challenge us against the hardened castle of Brightwood?
Look at this middle siege too, dude. Alley guy. I need to go.
Go point, go point, go point, go point. Yo, kill Ira, big oof. 2 big names right here. They're dying, they're dead, they're dead!
No. The might of the spark shined brightly from within us that day.
It happens.
Push them in their gate, dude! Push them in their gate!
Oh, come on, get in there, get.
Ah, big pulls! Oh, they're dying! Oh my god, dude!
And once again, the wood was saved from its former and would-be oppressors.
Get the fuck out of my town, goddammit!
Later that same day, Syndicate would once again challenge us at Everfall. Have they learned from their hard lessons served them at Brightwood? Would they get another attempt at our fort? Stay tuned to find out, but first, a brief message from our sponsor, Warhammers. Are you tired of getting pushed around and killed by burst DPS? Are enemies crowding around your point trying to take your territory? Do you just want a fun weapon that lets you toss people over 10 meters away from you? Well, step right up to Jethro's Warhammer Emporium, located in Morningdale, the place where you can get everything. We've got Warhammers that break armor, weaken your enemies, or simply toss them away. Here, check out this fun with Warhammers montage. Remember, if your enemy has you in a bind, and you just want to open palm slap them across the face, there isn't a better weapon than the Warhammer. Warhammer, it just kills people. Now back to the Dominora After Action Report. The war in Everfall started much like any other war, but this time, the Syndicate didn't attempt a siege attack from the cliffs, but rather they attempted a full-throated assault against all of our points. They came in quickly, and they came with a vengeance running through their veins. To date, they have yet to defeat us for control of any of our territories. Again, we don't really talk about Ebonskill Reach. Honestly, who wants to own that swampland anyways? The Syndicate didn't even bother defending it once they had it. The war went smoothly for us. The first 20 minutes of the battle, we deftly defended our points, maintaining complete control over the map. After a while, it seemed the battle lulled some of us into slumber or complacency, when suddenly, after 22 minutes, C was captured by the enemy. Then B point fell just 2 minutes later. With all of our forces committed to A, we held them for another 5 minutes. Eventually, they had captured every point on the map. But with only a minute left on the clock, they weren't afforded an opportunity to capture the fort. Everfall shall never fall. Finally, we have one more war to discuss. Newcomer to the server, the Covenant company Cope and Seethe declared war against a couple of real ones looking to make some side coin. They're called Legion 11, or the Black Legion? Honestly, it seems they're having an identity crisis. In any case, war was declared for the control of First Light on Halloween Day. Happy to assist them in their first campaign, I took the reins of the war. Most of our faction tending to their children and families for the holiday, we took the opportunity to introduce 20 new players to war. Our strategy was simple: attack them on multiple stress points, divide their attention, and force rotations. Before we began our assault, Brother Valaris blessed the battle with a brief word.
The spark shall, as we, shall not suffer the witch, the mutant, the heretic, or the mage, and rain down upon the wicked fiery coals and brimstone, and a scorching wind. May the spark cut off all deceiving lips and every boastful tongue. The spark is just and loves deeds, and the upright shall see his face. Strike them with terror, O spark. Show the masses that they are mere mortals. Amen.
Amen!
Amen.
For the spark!
DSM.
The war began. In a frenzied rush, our main forces took their positions on A point, while other groups applied pressure on other areas of the map. Within 5 minutes, the point fell to the might of the spark, and things were looking as though the war would turn in our favor. However, as time pressed on, it appeared that our new recruits were not quite prepared for a defense sporting members from Purple Rain. It seems that Legion found a couple of real ones looking to make some side coin after all. Our siege quickly fell, and confusion took over quickly. Intent on maintaining the push, we continued to pressure B with the full weight of our forces. In the end, First Light was a proving ground. We found new warriors to bring with us into future campaigns, while others will continue their training. Next time, our forces will not be so forgiving. You can count on it. War changes. Always. Its participants devise new strategies. Passions are inflamed and diminished over and over. Every time you step foot on the battlefield, the air is different. Sometimes the scent is of sweet honey. Other times the air carries the faint stench of defeat. In any case, it is always a pleasure to meet our adversaries in battle. Thanks for the challenge. Thanks for the fun. And I'll see you at the next one.